Welcome to King Says So, a channel that advocates for one Africa, one land, one Africa, one language, one Africa, one currency, one Africa, one army. I wish to witness Africans all around the world united as one in our lifetime. Enjoy.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy King053, Mr. Easy Imali Enengi, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, I'm doing a subscriber's request. One of you guys sent me a message on the last video that I did, and you said, King said so, do you mind doing a review on the weak DA leader speech today? Okay, guys, whatever you're requesting, I'm here to work for you guys. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. What this specific follower was speaking about is the speech that the DA leader did after the EFF celebration, annual 10-year celebration at FNB, because of the song they sang that day after the event was done, after the speeches and everything. The song was sang. I did hear the song when it was televised, but I did not I was not sure if Julius Malema was the one singing the song. You know, the one of the boer and the farmer. That song. I'm not allowed to say it here, and I'm not going to play that song. But what I did, I watched the whole speech that John Steenhuisen did, and I decided, no, let me just break it down for my people so that they can understand what is going on. So I'm doing about 6 points that John Steenhuisen spoke about, and I just want to give it a review. So let's listen to the first point.
My fellow South Africans, in the winter of 1993, our country was on the verge of anarchy and civil war. Following the assassination of Chris Hani, many South Africans feared that we were about to descend into ethnic and racial violence that would plunge all of us into permanent darkness. And yet, with the world predicting the end of South Africa, we collectively pulled back from the edge of the abyss. Just a year later, we went on to hold our first democratic elections. It was one of the proudest moments in all of our history. But this weekend, we saw the return of a demon that we thought that we had buried in 1994.
You know, what amazes me is that John Steenhuisen decides to speak about the history of South Africa, but he decides when he wants to start about the history of South Africa. And I want you guys to listen very carefully. He says in the winter of 1994, meaning in 1993, then he points out that after Chris Hani was killed, the country was in the verge of civil war. So right there, we should be asking ourselves, why was Chris Hani killed? You must remember Chris Hani was the one who was disagreeing with Mandela and them saying, no, listen, we are getting the government, but we're not getting the minerals, we're not getting the land, we're not getting the agriculture, we're not getting anything. He disagreed. And words in the street is that the comrades decided they needed to take him away with the apartheid government, and that's how Chris Hani was killed. And that's why Chris Hani was killed, because he was a man who almost stood on the fence like, I don't want equality, I want revenge. What you have done to my people is too much. You have killed my people. But John Steenhuisen decides to start in 1994. And then he says the world was predicting the end of South Africa if that civil war broke in 1994. No, the world was predicting the end of apartheid. There was pressure from all around the world to say what you are doing as Afrikaners to the native people of South Africa is wrong.
I'll tell you something. What disturbs me more than the policy that you call a policy is the rationale for the policy. The rationale for the policy. You set out 4 principles that you adhere to, and then and I will go over them in a moment. Then you say on page 14, we must not become part of South Africa's problem. We must remain part of their solution. We must not aim to impose ourselves, our solutions, our favorites in South Africa. Damn it, we have favorites in South Africa. The favorites in South Africa are the people who are being repressed by that ugly white regime. We have favorites. Our loyalty is not to South Africa, it's to South Africans. And the South Africans are majority black, and they are being excoriated. It is not to some stupid puppet government over there. It is not to the Afrikaner regime. We have no loyalty to them. We have no loyalty to South Africa, to South Africans.
Remember, this comes from the 14s, the 16s, the 70s, the 18s, the 90s. It stopped. So that is what we must speak about. What the white people have done to us. Don't start our history at 1994. Start then when you were killing our people, when you were raping our sisters, when you were doing all of these things to take our land, when you were stealing our cattle, when you were stealing our birthrights, meaning changing these African people in South Africa with Afrikaner surnames. If you stay in Eastern Cape, Western Cape, and Northern Cape, you find it a lot, where you find a pure black person with a white name and an Afrikaner surname. That is what is happening. So don't start our history in 1993. Don't make that mistake, Steenhuisen. And then he then speaks about the first election in 1994. The question is, why is it that a country this old has a first election in 1994? That's because the apartheid government felt the pressure. We must always remember, 1994 is not so long ago, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you are forgetting, 1994 is only 29 years ago. 29 years ago is when the white people started giving in. But in their giving in, they were smart in the negotiations they did with Utata Mandela. So don't ever, ever try to make us forget the painful history that we experience in this country. And he says, in this past week, speaking about the celebration of the EFF, we saw the return of a demon we thought we buried in 1994. Which demon was buried in 1994? There is absolutely no demon that was buried in 1994. Racism and systematic apartheid continued post-1994 till this day. Till this day. So I want to break down everything that John Steenhuisen, the leader of the DA, was saying. Let's listen to the second clip.
Standing on a stage in front of thousands of people in Soweto, Julius Malema resurrected the demon of hatred, division, and ethnic violence in South Africa. This is a man who is determined to ignite the civil war we averted in 1994. From that stage in Soweto, Malema told thousands of his followers that they must, and I quote, shoot to kill, unquote. He instructed them further to, and I quote, kill the boer, kill the farmer, unquote. And then he mimicked the chilling sound of gunfire to members of his political cult who answered with thunderous approval. Julius Malema told us exactly who he is, and it's time that we believe him.
Okay, so in this clip, he spoke about Julius Malema standing on stage and him resurrecting the demon, resurrecting the demon of hatred and igniting civil war, singing that song. You guys know the song. Personally, guys, I'm speaking about me, King053. Personally, I don't like the song. I don't like the song. I don't like that the song is being. I don't see what we gain as Africans from singing that song. There's other songs that are more powerful than that song. You know, my mother was a kitchen girl, and my father was a garden boy, and that's why there's more songs that we can sing that remind us of the pain. but also give us the hope of a brighter future and tell us why we are associating with whatever political party that we are associating ourselves with. But also remember, if you're going to speak down to this song, then the DA is the one that was protecting the apartheid flag. The apartheid flag is there as a sign of reminder to us black people, us African original people, that that was the flag that was hurting us with the Dutch. And that flag reminds us that they know that they're not Africans, but they are European. They know that in that flag. You remember the incident of in the farm where African brother was put in a casket alive? You guys remember racism in sport, especially in cricket and in rugby, in white sports. Or black people just started breaking through these sports just recently, 10 years ago or something like that. Do you remember the racial attacks in the pool? If you are going to speak down or speak up to this song, then you have to address all the things. But we don't see the DA addressing these things because they favor white people. And whatever favors white people, the DA is happy with. So the DA cannot only consider racism only when Malema does it. If you are a multiracial party as you claim, then we have to see you standing up for every racist attack, even though it's against a black person, colored person, Indian person. We want to see you stand. Let's listen again to another clip of John Steenhuisen.
But a political leader who incites mass murder is not normal. A member of parliament who calls for the killing of an entire section of society is not normal. And cowardly politicians who turn a blind eye to the incitement of civil war is not normal. Let me be clear, the DA will not look away. We will confront Julius Malema's fascism head on.
And here we go on the It's Not Normal track. And he says that a political leader calling for mass murder is not normal. Killing sections of society is not normal. My question to the DA is, since when is it not normal? You guys have been doing this to the original South African people, us African, for how many years? For how many years were we killed in bunches? How many years? We don't even have to go far. We can just go to 1976 where students were killed. And these were primary and high school children that joined and started fighting against the learning of Afrikaans. Said, listen, we don't want to learn this language. This curriculum at school is killing us. They shot them with live bullets. Since when is it not normal? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying since when is it not normal? It's not normal because now it's against farmers, white farmers. That is what he's saying. So it was normal to hang Solomon Mahlangu. That is quite normal. No, hang him. A young man, hang him. It's okay. Hang Solomon Mahlangu. It's nothing. They have killed how many prisoners in our fathers who went to prison and never came back. Some families in South Africa have not even got the closure of burying their loved ones because they were buried in mass graves, and they were told stories after story. And when we took a government power in 1994, we forgot all of those things, but the trauma remained with our people. Let's listen again to another point that I want to highlight from that speech.
Now, many of you will recall that during the speech I delivered at the DA's Congress in April, I identified the EFF as South Africa's political enemy number one. And I pledged to you that the DA would do everything in our power to prevent Malema from gaining power through a doomsday coalition between the ANC, the PA, and the EFF. I did so for a very good reason. As I said at the time, and I quote, EFF doomsday will make the collapse of Zimbabwe look like a dress rehearsal and will leave all South Africans destitute, black, coloured, white, and Indian. EFF doomsday will plunge this country into ethnic and racial conflict, the likes of which it has never witnessed before.
Now, the DA, and when I say DA, for me, I speak about white people, Afrikaner in particular. The DA is saying EFF is the political #1 enemy. Ladies and gentlemen, if our enemy, because our enemy is the people that colonized us, which is the Afrikaner people, if they think that EFF is the #1 enemy, don't you think we should be standing with the EFF? I've made this example about Jacob Zuma, that Jacob Zuma was the only president in the entire ANC history of president from 1994 up to now that was hated by white people. Why? Because he was not tickling their fancies. He was irritating them. Julius Malema is irritating our enemy. Does that not mean we should be standing with Julius Malema? I cannot vote for a party that is comfortable to work with the DA. I can't. I'm sorry. And many South Africans are waking up to this fact that, listen, if you want to work with these people so much, it means you are not pro-black, because you can't be pro-black or pro-African and still vote for the DA. It's not possible. It's not. You saw what they did to Mmusi Maimane. You saw what they did to the first black leader of the Democratic Alliance. You saw what they did. So for me, it's crazy. And now they are also pointing out that they don't want power from the ANC, that the ANC might be in a collision with the PA and the EFF. Now, why are you pointing the PA out? The PA is a colored party. Gayton McKenzie is the one that's pushing for colors. He's pushing for colors. So why is Gayton McKenzie also a threat? Because he's making colored. He is unapologetically colored. He's saying, I'm standing for colored people, and I want colored people to rise up in South Africa and see their value and make an impact in South Africa. That's why they're hating on Gayton McKenzie. Now, the mistake they're making is because they are pushing the EFF and the PA back to the ANC. And that collusion, I'm afraid to tell the DA, will not have an ANC president. That collusion of the DA, PA, and the ANC will have Julius Malema as the president of the country in 2024. I promise you, that is what is going to happen. And he says, South Africa will be like, the EFF wants to turn South Africa to be like Zimbabwe. You must remember what these words mean. Like Zimbabwe took the land back. Zimbabwe took the land back. But what is the difference between us and Zimbabwe is that our affiliation is with the BRICS. So sanctions are not going to work against us. America can sanction us. UK can sanction us, but we still have Russia, India, biggest population, China, biggest population, and Brazil, biggest population. Those are the top three biggest population in the world. So once you have Africa, the biggest population, India, China, and Brazil, who do you need? Russia will be with us. Saudi Arabia will be with us. I mean, who do you need? We will never be in a situation where we will be like Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is in the situation where it is because of sanctions, ladies and gentlemen. Let's listen more on what this leader of the DA, Democratic Alliance, was saying.
That is why I can today announce that we are filing charges against both Julius Malema and the ANC government at the United Nations Human Rights Council. The first element of our United Nations case will focus on Malema's repeated incitement of ethnic violence. The second element will charge the ANC national government before the United Nations over its years-long failure to take action against their one-time protege, even as brutal farm murders continue to escalate in the wake of Malema's demagoguery.
I honestly don't understand what is going on. Now they are filing charges in the United Nations Human Council. What charges are you filing? Oh, because of the song. I'm afraid to tell the DA if they've got a short memory. AfriForum took the EFF leaders to the Supreme Court in Bloemfontein because of the song. And the Supreme Court ruled that the song is not of hate speech. Now, I've already told you my position on the song. For me, it's not assisting us in any way, shape, or form. You can sing it, it's fine, but I'm not going to join in that because I don't see how it's assisting us. I've told you guys, yo, Solomon, yo, Solomon. There's songs we can sing that really, for me, it just ignites that pain that was felt in those times. That bekayisotsha lomkhonto wesizwe wayebulala amabhunu we-Africa. You know, powerful songs. This one that the EFF is singing, guys, I cannot agree with that song. I don't know why. I think they're just doing it to irritate the people because they've won in the Supreme Court. And now you're taking the ANC also to court. What are you doing? This is the ruling government. No matter which, you can go to the universe court, the galaxy court. You will not win against the ANC. You will not win against the ANC. Ask Musisi Mkhobane. They will tell you that the courts are on Cyril Ramaphosa's side. Go and ask her. So for me, and he says the farm matters are rising because of this song. In court, it was proven not to be true. There was no link to singing that song and farm matters. And by the way, why are we speaking about farm matters? Women are getting killed every day. Children are getting killed every day. Everyone, let's highlight everything. Let's highlight everything. Every murder that is happening and just say murder is going up. Don't try to single out farm murders. Personally, I've worked in a farm. I know how some farm owners treat their workers to a point where workers are left with no option but to retaliate. Of which I'm not encouraging, but I'm saying I've worked in a farm and I know what is going on there. I was a site supervisor, by the way. Don't think I was in the land. So let's just go to the last point and then I'll close this video.
The events of this past weekend have revealed a painful truth that we must now confront head on. The truth is that the demon of the 1990s, which very nearly plunged this country into violence from which it would never have recovered, is not dead and buried. Julius Malema has resurrected it in time for the election. The hopeful news is that history shows that when South Africans unite for peace, we can defeat this demon. But just like in the 90s, it's going to take commitment, it's going to take leadership, and it's going to take hard work.
Okay, lastly, I want to address this thing of him keep on pointing out the demon of the 90s. The demon of the 90s. What demon of the 90s? Name this demon so we can know what demon you are speaking about. Are you speaking about the demon of apartheid? Who was the custodian of that demon? Was it not farmers? Was it not Afrikaners? Was it not the white people who at that time considered themselves as European? Today they want to be called Africans. My fellow African brothers, why are you guys so easy to forget? You want to forget all the murders that happened on our land. The Jewish community, for only 5 years of war, were paid back for all the losses they did in billions. What did you South Africans get? Did you South Africans even get an apology? Did you South Africans get a reason why you were enslaved in your own land? Did you South Africans get someone to explain to you why your minerals are not in your possession? You South Africans, from the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 1800s, the 1700s, the 1500s, and the 1400s, where you explained why you were attacked with no reason. Forget about this thing of the 90s. The history of South Africa goes way back. And that is why people want us to forget. It's so long time ago, man. Just let it go. But look at the impact that we have now. Me and my counterpart, my white counterpart, the same age, we are not the same economically. We don't start at the same stage. I'm not talking about these poor white ones who abazali babo bebabhayiza. Angikhulumi ngalabo. Khuluma ngalabo abasitshontshele fully. Khuluma ngalezo. Ba re utsweditse bao. So bona ba sharp. Understand? They are all right. I'm talking about those people. You can never compare them with me. Where I'm staying, how I'm staying, car I'm driving, shares I'm owning, land I'm owning, you cannot compare me to any white person my age. They probably have the things that I've worked hard for at my age. They probably had it at 20, 21 years old. A new, beautiful Hilux bike, maybe. A house. They were sorted out. So I'm saying to you guys, don't forget the pain. I know I speak about politicians using emotional blackmail and all that. I'm not doing that. I'm saying don't forget what we have went through as a people to get where we are. Don't forget. I don't care if you vote for Action SA, if you vote for what you build one Africa, if you're voting for IFP or you're voting for the PA or whoever you're voting, do not vote for the white master. I'm gonna say it straight. That you guys can do whatever you want to do, but I'm gonna say it straight. Why? Because they don't show any remorse of our history. They don't show any remorse of what they did to us. They don't care, in fact. Just get over it. Yeah, your people were raped. So what? It was so long time ago. Get over it. Why were they raped? No, the land was taken so long ago. What are you going to do with land today? Stay in town. Leave the land alone. We will do agriculture for you. Why did you take our land? Why? What did we do to you to deserve what you did to us? Tell me why. And after you tell me the why, tell me, are you sorry? And give me a reasonable apology, a sincere apology that I can see this person is sorry. And that apology includes you giving back some of the wealth that you have stolen from us. It's your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Imale. Just wanted to do this request from you guys. You guys are my fans. Thank you guys for getting me over 5,000 views. You won't believe what happened to my first interview that I shot, but let me not say anything until everything is, guys, I'm so angry. But anyway, we're going on to the next one. I hope you guys enjoy this. Go in the comment section. Tell me what do you think about this little speech that the DA leader has done. Tell me what you think about my thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please be free but respectful on the comment section so that we can engage. I love engaging with you guys at all times. Until next time, don't forget to pray. And just know your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Male, salutes you.
Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy the content, leave your thoughts on the comment section and hit the like and subscribe button, and we will meet on the next one.